In 2026, 1440p gaming monitor prices have hit their lowest levels ever. The best budget 1440p gaming monitors, they start at just $150. LCD 240Hz 1440p gaming monitors start at under $200, and 1440p OLED gaming monitors start at under $400. Welcome back to PC Builder, I'm Jason. In this best 1440p gaming monitor 2026 buying guide, we're going to cover the basics of what you need to buy an incredible 1440p gaming monitor for PC or console, and we're going to make specific product recommendations for every budget level. If you get value out of this video, please give a like as it really helps out the channel. Let's jump into it. So what PC graphics card or console do you need to get good frame rates at 1440p? Of course, the games you play are going to make a huge difference, as some are harder to run like Cyberpunk 2077, those are optimized for better visuals at more moderate FPS, while esports titles like Rocket League or CS2 are optimized for massive FPS at lower settings. There's also GPU VRAM to consider, which we go over in more detail in our best GPU 2026 buying guide video. I'm going to link that down in the video description if you need a refresher. If we're targeting 60 FPS with upscaling enabled like DLSS or FSR, then I recommend a minimum graphics card of at least as powerful as an RX 7600 XT, RTX 4060, or Intel Arc B570 from medium to high settings at 1440p. Remember, that's the minimum, and the faster your GPU, the more FPS you're going to get at 1440p. For console owners, I recommend 1440p gaming monitors for any of the current generation consoles, including the PS5, PS5 Pro, Xbox Series X, or Xbox Series S. Here's what you need to know about 1440p gaming monitor refresh rates. This is basically the number of frames per second that your monitor can display. Now this is listed in Hertz or 8Z for short. Most 1440p gaming monitors in 2026, they start around 165 to 180 Hz. But they quickly go up to 240Hz or even 300Hz. Monitors that can do 360Hz or higher like 500Hz are also available, but they do start to cost quite a bit more. PC gamers, remember, your gaming PC needs a fast enough graphics card to output that many FPS. And console gamers, remember, the PS5 and Xbox Series X and S, they're locked to 120Hz, so don't overpay just for that higher refresh rate. Should you buy an OLED or LCD 1440p gaming monitor in 2026? This is going to come down to how much you have to spend. If you have $300 or less, you're going to get an LCD gaming monitor, typically an IPS panel, but there are some good VA panels available as well. These monitors deliver very nice visuals and refresh rates for their price. They lack usable HDR except for a couple of mini LED panels that can be found for between $200 and $300. But overall, they deliver fantastic price to performance, superior brightness, and crisp text clarity for non-gaming purposes. Now, if you have about $380 or more to spend, then my recommendation, go OLED. OLED gaming monitors have far superior motion handling with near instantaneous response times. They offer incredible HDR, which massively ups the visuals without reducing FPS, and they offer deep blacks as the panels can actually turn off individual pixels. The downsides of OLEDs are that the text clarity, while much better than older models, it's not quite up to LCD standards. Brightness, while still good, falls short of LCD gaming monitors, and there is a very small risk of pixel burn-in, though extended testing has shown this shouldn't impact most users. Overall, OLED gaming monitors are a massive step up from LCD if you can afford them. Now, if you are in the market for an OLED gaming monitor in 2026, there's essentially two panel types that you should consider. On the one hand, we've got the 3rd and 4th gen QD OLED panels made by Samsung. On the other hand, we have the 4th gen W-OLED panels made by LG. Now, W-OLED, it's brighter, but at a cost to text clarity compared to both 3rd and 4th gen QD OLEDs. At the time of filming, only a couple of the newer 4th gen QD OLED panels have actually hit the market, but we do expect more towards the end of 2026. These 4th gen QD OLED panels offer better text clarity thanks to a new subpixel layout and a new black film coating that improves the deepness of blacks. Now, having seen all these panels myself, the differences feel quite minor compared to the huge jump between OLED and LCD gaming monitors, so it's hard to go wrong with any of them, especially if you get a good deal. But what about gaming monitor size and aspect ratio? Well, in 2026, 1440p gaming monitors are typically 27 inches in size, with a smaller number at 32 inches. The most popular aspect ratios are widescreen at 16 by 9, or 16 pixels wide for every 9 pixels in height. Then we have 34-inch ultra-wides at 21 by 9 aspect ratio, and finally we have the 49-inch super ultra-wides like the Samsung Odyssey G9 at 32 by 9. Consoles like the PS5 don't always offer the best support for ultrawide or super ultrawide, so while PC gamers can get any of these, console gamers should really stick to widescreen only. Should you use your HDMI or Displayport cable when you plug in your 1440p gaming monitor? Well, for console gamers, you only have HDMI. And for 1440p 120Hz, you want the monitor to have at least HDMI 2.0 along with a cable capable of that. Luckily, most new gaming monitors come with this as standard. For PC gamers, my recommendation, use that Displayport cable. It can enable up to 240Hz and higher refresh rates. Displayport's also going to ensure that if you have an NVIDIA GPU, it correctly uses the VSync component of AMD FreeSync, which is what most gaming monitors use in 2026 to prevent screen tearing during gameplay. Alright, let's jump into our recommendations for best 1440p gaming monitors in 2026. Now, everything is linked down in the video description. We're going to update those deals daily as things sell out, new deals pop up, so check out the video description for the current best deals. Deals listed with a fire emoji in front of them are particularly good ones in that category that might sell out or change, and if there's 2 fire emojis, that means it's a fantastic deal regardless of category. Before we jump into the best budget 1440p gaming monitors in 2026, I want to show you this. This is a VESA monitor arm. You can attach this to virtually any gaming monitor out there, so don't worry if you get one with a really crummy stand, like I'm going to show you in just a moment, especially for these budget models. For about $20 to $30, depending on pricing, you can pick up something like this. It screws right in the back of your gaming monitor, it attaches to your desk, and gives you all the flexibility I think most people are looking for in terms of height, tilt, and swivel. All right, let's jump into the best budget 1440p gaming monitors in 2026. Now, what are we looking for here? Number one, we don't want to spend very much money. We love it to be as cheap as possible, but we also have some quality requirements. We don't want to get a crappy VA smear panel, which is pretty easy to do at this price point. I typically recommend flat IPS panels here. We're looking for 165 to 180 Hertz as a floor in terms of refresh rate. Obviously, we can get faster. That's great. And we want good motion handling to it. We'd also love some nice to haves if we can get them, like a USB hub, although that might not be the case. And then a good stand would also be helpful, but you can't always get the monitor arm that I just showed you. Let's jump into my favorite pick for best cheap 1440p gaming monitor in 2026. That is the ASRock Phantom Gaming PG27 QFT2A. Now, there's a couple different versions of this. The one I typically recommend has the fully functional stand to it as well in terms of height, tilt, and swivel. But they do sell one of this oftentimes with kind of a Garbo stand, and that you just grab that on monitor arm instead for it. 180 Hertz. Flat, it's IPS. ASRock does a great job with this gaming monitor. I've recommended it for quite a while, and it's going to give you the same performance as a gaming monitor that you would have spent probably $300 or so just a couple years ago, and you're going to get that for about $145. I don't know what else you want. Now, it's not the best in terms of its motion handling or its picture quality, but it's very, very good in the mid-range. Moving up in terms of 1440p gaming monitors in the more budget range here, I really like the KTC H27 T22C-3, $170 right now, but it gives you a 200 Hertz refresh rate. It's 210 Hertz if you use the overdrive mode. And I really like that it's got a flat IPS 27-inch to it. It doesn't have a lot of the kind of nice to haves like the USB hub and everything else to it, but it's got HDMI 2.0, so that's great for you console folks out there. And it's got 2 Displayport as well. The stand is totally garbage, by the way. It's just a kind of a plastic stick like you see there, so I would definitely recommend a monitor arm for it. We've also got the Acer Nitro XV271U M3. This is a monitor I've continued to recommend for quite a while. 180 Hertz flat IPS 27-inch panel. It comes with 2 HDMI 2.0 ports and a single DisplayPort 1.2, which is perfectly adequate for 1440p 180 Hertz for it. $169, you also get the full height, tilt, and swivel stand to it, so that's nice. You don't necessarily need a monitor arm for this one. It's got the full ergonomics to it. No kind of nice to have like a USB hub or anything else. It's just kind of a very basic 1440p kind of mid-range gaming monitor. And then Gigabyte recently launched the GS27QA SA. This is a 27-inch IPS flat gaming monitor, 180 Hertz refresh rate to it. Pretty good on the motion handling. The stand is hot garbage. It's just a plastic stick with tilt to it, so I would definitely recommend a monitor arm for this. And in terms of connectivity, you're just basically getting a couple of HDMI and DisplayPort ports, no USB hub whatsoever. However, $159 is a pretty good price point. If you do want to spend just a little bit more money and get something that's slightly more premium in terms of the product, you can check out the Alienware AW2725DM. This is a 27-inch flat IPS 1440p gaming monitor with excellent construction, really nice stand with height, tilt, and swivel. It's got a full USB hub to it. I will say the picture quality is slightly better than the gaming monitors that we've been looking at previously. $220 is a little steep, however, given where the overall gaming monitor market is, because you are now in 240 Hertz to 300 Hertz territory, but it is a great monitor. And then one more monitor that often gets down in price, but is also really high quality. I do like the Asus ROG Strix XG27 ACS, 180 Hz, very similar to the Alienware, really not much difference between them other than some aesthetic differences. $249 is way too expensive right now. This does often get down to like $190 or $199 on sale. All right, let's jump in the best 240 Hz or higher refresh rate LCD 1440p gaming monitors in 2026. Now, the whole market here has completely changed because OLED 240 Hz has smashed everything down. Those prices start around $360 to $380. I'm going to show you some, and they are significantly better than the LCD ones. So if you have the money, I would definitely jump up to it. But the good news is if you want higher refresh rates, there's a number of new gaming monitors out there at this price point. Look at that, $200 for this. And this is going to be my top pick, by the way. And this Gigabyte M27Q3, it's got a phenomenal stand to it. It's got some nice to haves as well. But it is only available at Newegg in the US right now. So if you're unable to buy from Newegg in the US for some reason, I'll give you some alternatives on Amazon. They're also very, very good. I do really like the Gigabyte M27Q3. It's got a full USB hub. It's got the KVM switches, and it has a 300 Hertz refresh rate to it, 320 Hertz on the OC mode if you use the DisplayPort cable, which obviously I recommend because at this point we're talking to PC gamers. The only downside I see, not in terms of the reviews of the model by tech reviewers, but in terms of some customer reviews that I have seen, that it has more limited viewing angles. Now, this is a high refresh rate esports gaming monitor. I don't know why you would do anything other than look directly at it, why you're going to have some kind of off angle on it. So to me, this is a really, really good deal at $199. If you want to spend a little bit more money, possibly get a slightly superior product, I do like the KTC H27E6 for about $270 right now on Amazon. The good news about this monitor is it's a very premium product made by KTC. It's 300 Hertz or 320 Hertz on the overdrive mode, just like the Gigabyte, but it's quite a bit brighter. It's got quite a bit wider color gamut than the Gigabyte does to it. And the contrast is actually pretty excellent for an IPS panel. Obviously, go to OLED or go to VA, they have superior contrast, but for an IPS panel, it has really, really good contrast to it. And the backlight strobe is really, really good as well. I would say for $269, especially with two HDMI 2.1 ports and then two display ports to it as well, it's a really good overall package if you don't want to spend a ton of money, you don't want to jump up to OLED, but you want to get really, really good esports goodness. Another gaming monitor you might consider if you're looking for esports frame rates, but you're not looking to spend a ton of money at 1440p is the QD G27 21E. For $260-ish, it's just about the equal of the KTC I just showed you, a little more narrow on the color gamut, a little lower on the overall brightness, and the backlight strobe not quite as nice as the KTC. But if you're looking to spend a little bit extra money, this is also a nice product to pick up. All right, let's jump into the best mid-range 1440p gaming monitors in 2026. There's still LCD. We'll get to OLED in just a moment. But if you're looking for mini LED, that's with good HDR to it, and it's LCD, and you're looking at a price range between $200 and $300, there's still really only two picks right now, although there are a number of these mini LED gaming monitors that are coming later this year. But my top pick continues to be the AOC Q27 G40 XMN. Now the stand on this, hot garbage. However, get a monitor arm for it for $269. Now this had been down to almost $200 for quite a while. I see it's on clearance right now, so it's possible they're clearing the way for its successor, which should have a little bit better ergonomics to it as well. Doesn't have a review just yet. I would still pick this up right now, though, if you don't have $360 or $400 to spend on an OLED gaming monitor and you want that HDR goodness to it, and you're looking for something that's really, really crisp at 1440p. Similarly, if for whatever reason you can't grab that one off Best Buy, they still have the AOC Q27 G3 XMN with a way better stand, slightly worse in terms of the overall picture quality, although you probably couldn't tell. This is the predecessor to the other monitor that I just showed you. Still selling for about $299 over at Amazon. Is it worth it at $299? It's really tough to say. I would probably spend the extra $50 or $60 and jump up to OLED instead, but if this goes on sale, it's probably a good pickup. All right, let's jump into the best 1440p OLED gaming monitors in 2026. So what are we looking here? For about $350 is kind of the price floor right now, thanks to Alienware that just recently introduced this gaming monitor. What we're looking at here is 3rd gen QD OLED panels, so really, really good panels, but not the 4th gen, which are still coming out. Not a lot of them out just yet, and not WOLED 4th gen, which we'll take a look at. But we're looking at 240 Hz refresh rate, and these monitors on the more budget end, they're basically going to be kind of no frills monitors. So let's start off with the best budget 1440p OLED gaming monitors in 2026. I'm going to give you 3 options here. I really like the Alienware AW2726DM. Again, this monitor is kind of what you see is what you get with these QD OLED panels. Since they're all using the exact same panel, it comes down to small things. They've all got fantastic color gamuts to them. They've all got infinite contrast. They've got instantaneous response times. The HDR is absolutely incredible. So you really can't go wrong with these. Now this particular panel here, it's got really good construction to it. The stand has height, tilt, and swivel, which is super nice because some of the more budget end ones, they're just gonna give you a really crummy plastic stick and then you'll need to spend a little bit more for a monitor arm. In terms of the ports on this, you get 2 HDMI and then you get 1 Displayport. Now I will note there's no USB or hub or anything like that. You can always buy a USB hub separately from Amazon for like $20 or $30 if you want. Right now you can pick this up for $349 off the Dell Alienware site, link down in the video description. All right, moving over to AOC, they've got a great entry here, the Q27 GAZDV. Now there's a couple different versions of this panel. I like this one the best because it basically combines all the best features with that essentially same QD OLED 240 Hz 27-inch gaming panel to it. What I like about this is this has a full functional stand, height, tilt, and swivel to it. I like that it's got a little cable management grommet to it. It's overall a very nice package as well, and it's got a fully functional USB hub along with those 2 HDMI ports and Displayport. I didn't mention previously, but this has one of the HDMI ports on this is HDMI 2.1 for you console folks out there. If you want to do VRR over HDMI 2.1, you can. Now remember, you only need HDMI 2.0 in order to get 120 Hertz on a console over HDMI. PC gamers, I still want you to use that DisplayPort cable out there, but for $379, if you want to step up and add a couple more features from Amazon, this is a great one. Let me give you one more panel in case those are sold out for some reason, but the reality is here, even though I'm going to tell you to get the Acer X27U, either the W1 or the Z1 here, the reality is MSI, Gigabyte, most of these other panels are just as good. So if you find good pricing, and I will continue to look for good pricing, check those links down in the video description. If something goes on sale, I will definitely put it in there. But typically the best price units after that are the Acer Predators. This is the X27U. The W1 is a 240 Hz, really great panel. It comes with height, tilt, and swivel on the stand, no USB hub to it. And then Newegg, for whatever reason, for only $10 more, sells the Z1, which basically goes up to 280 Hertz. It's a 280 Hertz. So it's only about 40 Hertz different in terms of its refresh rate. I'm not sure you'd tell the difference, but if you want to spend a little bit extra money, you can. All right, let's jump into the best 4th gen WOLED 240 Hz OLED gaming monitors in 2026. The good news is if you want to spend a little bit more money and get a panel that is brighter, has noticeably better colors to it, then you can grab something like the Gigabyte MO27Q28G for a more reasonable price. Last year was $600 when they first came out, which is crazy. Now it's closer to $500, although right now at the time of filming, it is on sale for $479. That's a sale price. Typically you find it more like $500. And there are 2 different versions of this panel. These are pretty premium gaming monitors, by the way. They come with KVM switches to them, full USB hub, including a USB Type-C to it. It's got height, tilt, and swivel on the stand. Again, very premium package that Gigabyte offers here, with that 4th generation WOLED panel to it that's 240 Hertz. Now the big difference between the two, at Newegg, they sell the matte version, and at Amazon, they sell the glossy version and they add an R to it. So it's GR here at the end. That's how you tell the difference between the two. Some people don't like the glossy. If you mostly game in brighter environments, you can get some reflections off of it, but that glossy does enhance the blacks in darker environments. So if you mostly game in a dark environment, maybe you go ahead and pick up the glossy version. If you mostly game in kind of a brighter environment, then I'd probably go ahead and pick up the matte version. All right, let's jump into the best 360 Hz 1440p OLED gaming monitors in 2026. Now, this is a product category that seems like a lot of brands are kind of bailing out of. Either they're going way up to 500 Hertz, and we'll show you some of those in just a moment, or they're sticking to 240 Hertz or 280 Hertz on some of the overclocked versions. The 2 that are still out there that I would recommend. I do like the Alienware AW2725DF. The problem with this monitor, it has gone up from about $550 to about $624, and I feel like it's probably not worth it, so I'm gonna show you my top pick in just a moment. I will leave this link down in the video description. I'm hopeful that the price point will come back down to where we saw it earlier this year, but my top pick right now would be the AOC Q27 G40 SDE. Now, this is a brand new gaming monitor by AOC, and they have done what they've done with their lower end models, which is they basically stripped everything out of it to basically just give you the gaming monitor and kind of nothing else. So the stand on this is hot garbage. It's tilt only. I would recommend buying a gaming monitor arm for it. But look at that, $450. That is insane. $450, and it's 360 hertz. It's got basically all the same attributes as those 240 hertz, except it's 360 hertz. So if you don't need the extra refresh rate, don't spend the money here. Buy one of the other gaming monitors, or if you want, get the WOLED Gigabyte 240 hertz instead. But if you're somebody who's like, Jason, I'm definitely gonna get the value out of 240 hertz to 360 hertz, then I would pick this one up. All right, let's jump into the best 500 hertz 1440p OLED gaming monitors in 2026. Now, I wanna emphasize, you need a good enough graphics card to be able and game to play that you're going to get the benefit of 500 hertz. That's a lot of frames to pump out, even for an RTX 5090 at 1440p, and even in a game like CS2 or something like that. So let's jump into this. The ones I would get here, they are all so similar. It's really tough to tell you to get one over the other. They all use the 3rd gen QD OLED panels at this point. You're probably going to need to wait till 2027. There will be some 720 hertz coming out, including some WOLED ones, but not until probably early next year. In the meantime, $599 is a pretty cheap price for like the Acer Predator X27U F5. The F5 means it's the 500 hertz version of it. Now this particular monitor has no frills to it. It does have a USB-C input, so if you want to plug a laptop into it using USB-C, you certainly can. It's not really a hub though, a USB hub to it. It's got height, tilt, and swivel. It's 27 inches. It's a great gaming monitor, and this is the cheapest one. Now, the one I might pick up as my top pick, as long as you're not spending too much for this, is the MSI Mag 27 2QP X50. It's the QD OLED X50 basically. Now, there was an MPG version of the MPG is their higher end version. However, that one seems to have completely sold out. It doesn't look like they're going to make it anymore. It looks like they're just going to make the MAG version, which is their kind of more standard gaming version. 500 hertz 1440p OLED gaming monitor. There's nothing standard about that. Very similar in terms of overall construction to the Acer Predator. I think the build quality might be a touch better on this one, but again, $643 right now versus $599. I would probably pick the Acer up at its current sale price. However, this one is usually about $650, and it is usually the cheapest. Another one to keep your eye on here is the Samsung Odyssey OLED G60 SF. Now, this is another 500 hertz, same panel basically. However, this one is probably the best in terms of overall monitor construction quality. It comes with a full USB hub to it. It's got all the nice to haves to it as well. But you're going to spend quite a bit of money for it. $749. It's hard to justify another $100 just for those kind of minor features to it. But it does go on sale sometimes, so check those links in the video description. All right, let's jump into the best 34-inch 1440p OLED ultrawide gaming monitor in 2026. And honestly, there's a couple of different models out there that are kind of close, but they all have like one defect to them that I just don't love. They're all about the same price as the Alienware AW3425DW, and it kind of does it all. It's hard to recommend anything else. This is a curved 240 hertz 1440p 34-inch QD OLED 3rd gen panel. It's really, really nice. Now, there are some more expensive panels that are 360 hertz for north of $1,000. I just don't know why you would do that. I would go with this for $749. This is a great formula. Alienware does a really good job with this gaming monitor. It's got a great USB hub to it. It's kind of got all the features that you really need, and this is the one I would pick up. Let's jump into the best super ultra-wide 1440p OLED gaming monitors in 2026. And just like every year, I feel like there's really only one choice, although there's two different models of it that I'm going to show you. That's the Samsung Odyssey OLED G9. Nobody does this like Samsung in terms of the experience that you get with you can actually split the panels and have something going side by side on them. It's 240 hertz, it's 3rd gen QD OLED. You get the incredible goodness of OLED with basically a wraparound experience. If you're looking for the ultimate, this is the one that I would get. Now there's two different models of it. The one that's typically cheapest, you can see $999 right now, what a deal, is the G93SC. Now the G93SC does not have the smart TV technology and stuff like that. It's just the base monitor to it. And this is actually a glossy coating to it. If you want to get the smart TV version of it with the matte coating, there is the G95SD. I will leave both these linked down in the video description. You can decide which one to get. Would I spend the extra money? Maybe for the coating, maybe for the smart TV stuff, it's about $197. It's a little expensive for sure, but I would probably just pick up whichever one I wanted, either glossy or matte. Remember, all of our best 1440p gaming monitor recommendations for 2026 are linked down in the video description. Check those links out for current pricing and availability in your region. We're also just going to keep updating that as new products come on the market or things sell out. If you got value out of this video, please give it a like. Of course, subscribe for more cool PC content. And we'll catch you on the next one.